Okay, my siblings, let's get straight to it. Today I am talking about child and spousal maintenance. Guys, when it comes to child maintenance, it is both parents' responsibility to maintain the child. It's not only the father's responsibility, it's not only the mother's responsibility, but both parents have to make sure that the child is maintained. And you cannot quit your job in an attempt to evade maintenance. Should you do that, the court on its discretion can make sure that your assets are attached in order to settle the maintenance amount. And maintenance is usually paid to the primary caregiver of the child. A divorce settlement agreement or the maintenance order will stipulate how much amount has to be paid to the primary caregiver, to which account, and when such amount should be paid. It is a criminal offense to not pay maintenance, and you could be fined or jailed for a year unless you satisfy the court that you are willing to pay maintenance but you are unable to do so. And in an event where you are unable to pay maintenance, the court can make an order for the grandparents, be it maternal or paternal grandparents, to pay for the maintenance. And if they also are unable to pay for the maintenance, even siblings can pay for the maintenance, provided that this child really needs the money. So if that's the case, then even siblings can be ordered to pay maintenance. However, step parents are not obligated under our law to pay for maintenance, and also step siblings. So maintenance is more of a blood issue rather than affinity. So if you have a step parent, unless they adopted you, then if you're an adopted child of that parent, then they have to maintain you. But if they didn't adopt you, they're just your step parent, then they don't have to pay for your maintenance. Only biological parents, grandparents, and siblings may be ordered to pay for to pay for maintenance. A child is to be maintained until they are self-sufficient, until they can take care of themselves. So even beyond the age of 18, if after they turn 18 they still cannot afford to take care of themselves financially, then they are still to be maintained. However, once a child turns 18, they can now apply for maintenance on their own. They don't need their parents for that. So you maintain your child until they are beyond 18. And guys, like I said in my previous video, the fact that you're not seeing your child does not mean that you don't have to pay maintenance. I said that contact and maintenance are two separate legal topics, so they're treated separately. Even if you're not seeing your child, you have to pay maintenance. It doesn't matter the issues that you have with the primary caregiver of the child, maintenance has to be paid. And like I said, it is an offense to not pay maintenance, and you could be jailed for a year, or you could be fined, or you could be jailed and fined. So guys, please make sure that you pay maintenance until you can satisfy the court that you are willing but you are unable to do so. When it comes to spousal maintenance, guys, spousal maintenance is not a right. The court will grant spousal maintenance only if it is satisfied that you really need it. So and the court will take into account the financial means of the person from whom you're seeking maintenance. And for historical reasons, usually it is the ex-wife who will be needing maintenance from the ex-husband. So if the wife needs maintenance, the court will have to take into account the financial means of that party and their ability to pay for maintenance, to pay for your maintenance. Should they be able to do so, and should you really need the maintenance, the court will make such order that you be paid maintenance. Another thing that the court will take into account will be your capacity to earn a living. Both parties' capacity to earn a living. So if you're maybe still young and you're qualified, it's highly unlikely that you will get maintenance, because if you're still young and you're qualified, it's possible that you get a job. However, if someone is really old, obviously it won't be as easy for us it would be for a young person to be able to get a job. So in that particular instance where you're still young, the court is highly unlikely. Remember that our courts favor the clean break principle. So in terms of this principle, the courts favor that both parties must be financially independent after divorce, and they have to ensure that no party bothers the other. So for the court to grant maintenance, you really have to be at that place where you really need it. Like for instance, say maybe you were a stay-at-home wife, and you took care of the household, so you've never worked, you don't have experience. So the court will look at such things. And another thing is your age and the duration of the marriage. Like I said, if you're still rather young and you'll be able to find a job in no time, in that instance the court would be very reluctant to grant maintenance. But if you're old and it will be hard for you to find a job, then in that particular instance the court might grant the order that you be maintained. And then the duration of the marriage, if the marriage, like if you've been married for like a year or two, that's not that long. So in that particular instance, the court is also very unlikely to provide maintenance, because it is very likely that before you got married, you maintained yourself. So in that particular instance, the court would be unlikely to grant maintenance. But if you've been married for years and you've contributed so much to them, you've contributed so much effort and you've given so many years to this marriage, the court is very likely to grant maintenance. And because right now in our law, divorce is not fault based anymore. So the courts don't say it was this person's fault that they divorced. Only if it's really necessary to consider whose fault the divorce was, only in that particular instance will fault be considered. So you cannot say you won't maintain someone because it is their fault that their marriage ended, unless this factor is really relevant. But if in the court's opinion that factor is not so relevant, then it is very likely that the court won't take that into consideration. If the court is of the opinion that a spouse should be maintained, then the court will make that order that this spouse be maintained. But like I said, spousal maintenance is not a right. So and because of the clean break principle, the court will be very reluctant to give an order of spousal maintenance. That is all for today, guys. And if you feel like there's something that I did not address pertaining to child and spousal maintenance, please feel free to comment, or please feel free to send me a DM. Like I always say, I want to try and make these videos as simple as I possibly can, so I don't want to be mentioning too many issues. But should there be issues that you want me to address that you feel like I didn't address, or you feel that like I don't address, or maybe I don't explain explicitly enough, please feel free to ask me, and then we can see how I assist you. And if it's a DM, please make sure that you get straight to the point, because if you just say hi, chances are I'm not going to reply, because there are so many highs in the DMs. So please, if it's pertaining to child and spousal maintenance and you feel like there's something that I did not address, and because I speak from my head, there are certain things that I will maybe forget to mention, and then only after the video that thing comes to my head. So should you feel like there's something that I had forgotten, please also don't hesitate to send me a DM, and we can talk, or comment below, then we can talk and I can help. I'm always willing to help. So please guys, don't forget to be straight to the point when you send a DM or when you comment. Thank you so much. I love you to the moon and back.